do you think the Prime Minister's intentions are pure? I mean, we've heard from people like the Deputy Opposition Leader, Sussan Ley, calling the referendum Albanese's re-election vanity project. As someone who's been working closely with the government, Thomas, what do you think of that claim and of Albanese's intentions here in this referendum?
Oh, look, this isn't Albanese's idea. It's not a Labor Party idea. You asked how the campaign was going, the first question, and I really should have said the campaign has been going on for, over 100 years. Statements and petitions that precede the Uluru Statement all called for a voice. Almost all of them were dismissed and ignored. We considered those lessons of those statements and petitions that called for a voice that were ignored. We considered the voices that we've established, as Amy talked about, that have all been taken away because of a discomfort in listening to Indigenous people, speaking to our interests and seeking to hold decision makers to account when they harm us. This is something this is a long campaign, and it's intensifying in this last 6 weeks. But it's not Albanese's idea. It's not his vanity project. This has been a genuine call from Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people to have a voice that cannot be taken away at a political whim, using our lives as a political football, establishing something permanent, a platform for our children when they step up to leadership that they can step up onto that isn't going to be pulled from underneath them.
I do remember those criticisms from Sussan Ley, and speaking personally, I thought they were a bit overblown. I mean, I don't know, and very much keeping in mind of what Thomas has said there, this isn't a Labor Party, policy. Labor didn't come up with this. This has been going on for a very long time. What's wrong with the legacy? I don't understand this idea of, a politician, that it's a bad thing that, there would be a legacy left behind. I've been in the room when he's made these announcements and had big press conferences, and you can see the passion on his face and he's crying, and I think it does weigh quite heavily on people, not just the Prime Minister, but a lot of people involved in the government, a lot of people involved in the Yes campaign, that like the gravity of this situation, that it is, a moment in time.
I'd like to make the point that it's support across the political spectrum as well. This isn't just Labor, it's the Greens, it's the Teals, it's other independents. There are, Julie and Lisa resigned, pretty important roles, Shadow Minister for Indigenous Australians and Shadow Attorney General, to be able to campaign for this.
And I don't think it matters so much the intentions of the Prime Ministers or politicians, because even if they have good intentions, we've seen what good intentions have done in the past. So I don't have a lot of confidence in the intentions of politicians or Prime Ministers, and I don't really care. Like, Bob Hawke cried as he hung the Barunga Statement and failed to deliver a treaty. Every single Prime Minister in this country is characterised by their failure, their abject failure to deliver justice to us as a peoples. And so I hope that with this referendum debate, we can judge Albanese on that as well.